What's up, guys? It's RJ. So I had this idea. There's kind of some stuff that I don't really hear transgender people talk about much. I know there's a lot of talk about what it's like to be transgender in terms of feeling like you're in the wrong body and having gender dysphoria and stuff like that. But I thought I would discuss a little bit more of I guess the social implications and I guess how it relates to being a part of a predominantly cisgendered world, and not necessarily conforming to not necessarily trying to fit in or feeling different or anything like that, but more just trying to understand how the world, society works outside of the gender, outside of a gender, what's the word I'm looking for? Not within a gendered focus, I guess you could say. Because there's a lot more to there's a lot more to society than gender, and being transgender makes you focus a lot on gender more than anything else. So I thought I would discuss a little bit about what it's like to experience the world through kind of a different light, and trying to understand how to experience the world the way other people do. So figured I'd make this video because I had an idea and I'm putting off homework, and sorry my voice is a little weird. I'm getting over a mild cold, so I'm a little congested, but anyway. So like I already said, I wrote down stuff because I'm organized like that. Like I already said, you focus, your whole life is just surrounded by the gender. Everything goes back to gender and gender identity, and it's hard to, I guess, try to see things the way cisgendered people do, where gender isn't the focus of your entire life. And I guess it's just weird, trying to see the world holistically, I guess you can say, rather than everything being based on gender and everything going back to this person identifies as male, and thinking about gender stereotypes and looking at how people behave and whether their behavior is masculine or feminine. I don't know if this applies to everybody who's trans, but this was my experience. I'll meet somebody, and the first thing I think is oh, they're if I meet somebody that's a guy, and I'm oh, they're a guy and they're cisgendered, and this is how they behave, and how does that compare to the way I behave, and they're probably not even really thinking about, a lot of guys, if you're talking about F to M specifically, it's normal for guys to kind of grow up learning how to fit in, or trying to conform to masculine stereotypes. But if you're a trans guy, it's amplified. Everything is I have to do this a certain way to be perceived as male, and to do this a certain, and then I notice I'll see guys that have, I guess, not necessarily feminine behaviors, but just they won't meet every single stereotype that I would think is a male stereotype, and I'm oh, see, they're not even thinking about it. Like, they don't have to think about it. They can just, like, be themselves, and they don't even realize, like, they don't, I guess they don't examine all their behaviors so much. And that's something that, I can't speak for everyone, but that's something that I've always had to do, like, examine my behavior and see if the way I behaved was, I guess, what kind of person am I, what kind of guy am I, and what's my place in the world, and do I act, you know, how, like, male do I act, and how male am I perceived, and things like that. And you kind of get lost in your own little world. Like, you're so introspective, and you're so, like, preoccupied with examining yourself and your identity, and specifically your gender identity, and then you kind of forget that there's more to life than gender identity. I guess it's all going back to the same thing, that everything's so focused on gender identity. And like, you wonder how, like, it's hard to empathize with the cisgendered world, because it's like, how do you think about things normally? Normally meaning, like, how do they see the world, and how do they see society? With us, it's like we're seeing everything through kind of this transgendered, I guess, kind of transgendered glasses, you know, and everything is, I guess, kind of biased by that. Like, you start to realize that cisgendered people have, like, completely different issues. Like, they don't think twice about who they are, and, you know, they have, like, other things to worry about, and whereas with being transgender, you just have to, or not you have to, but you tend to focus so much on yourself that it's almost kind of like being selfish, that that you don't realize that you know, you can't see things, I guess, objectively. Like, it's really hard, and I like to be objective generally, but, like, I find it really difficult to perceive things that are not like, influenced by the fact that I'm trans, like I said, seeing through kind of like this, like, transgendered glasses kind of thing. It's like everything is influenced by that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of the best I can explain it. The other thing is, I often wonder what it would have been like to grow up cisgendered. Like, how, like, would my childhood have been vastly different? Like, how would I have, how different would I be now?